So, like, we have kids, you know, we all get married or we don't, or whatever the case may be. And then everything that we did that was so cool and so down and so perfect and shiny and you have these children, and then you're like, oh my God, did I just lose my swag as I push that child out? And I gotta ask you, like, I know you have a child, and you know, you've been, how old is your son now?
5.
5 years old. Like, did you lose your swag? A little bit, even though you're Robin Thicke.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if you lose your swag. I think you just have to, like, put it in the locker for a few hours every day.
Just a few hours?
Yeah, you just got to turn the swag meter down. You know what I mean? Yeah, but you still have to, when you find your swag, it's in you know, the time with your partner, or the time with your friends, or just going out and dancing a little bit, or just you got to make sure you still get to live your own life a little bit, because it's everything you feel is for them, you know, nowadays. So
because you're you know, when I listen to one of your albums, when I listen to one of your songs, I always fall in love with you more and more, because you selfishly speak to me, you know, yeah, because I'm like your only fan, like, you know, I'm pretending like I'm your only fan, but like, I feel like selfishly you're talking to me, so it's hard sometimes as a working parent, as somebody who has a career. I mean, you're a parent, you work all the time, you're out doing this, you're promoting. It's hard sometimes to kind of like turn it all off and watch, you know, Yo Gabba Gabba.
Right.
Although some of the surprise guests they have there are stellar, but still, it's tough to kind of like get into that role, and you do it so well and like seamlessly.
I love being a dad. I always wanted a little brother when I was a kid, you know, to play with, and I always wanted a son, you know, and you know, you're right. There are times when it's magical, and there are times when I just can't watch Frozen one more time.
I listened to the entire album all the way over here, and I'm like, I should have listened to his music. Yeah, and I like go to your music. She's like, I want to be a snowman. Okay.
Yeah, right. Luckily, you know, he's got, now that he's a little bit older, I can watch some grown-up stuff with him, you know, like Jurassic World. Like, he loved.
Really? We were just debating whether to rent it tonight or not, because our kid is 5 and she might flip out.
She might flip out. It depends on the preparation, what they've seen before, if they understand it's a movie. You kind of got to talk them through it. Like, the fun thing for me with watching movies with him is talking about everything that's happening, because he can't grasp it all.
Right.
But if I explain it to him scene by scene or storyline, then all of a sudden it all makes sense, and then he's not scared because he knows everything that's going on. There's more going on in his mind than scary dinosaur. So that seems to work for me.
Your music is, to me, one of the most soulful, one of the most romantic pieces of music in my collection.
Thank you.
And you know, you're sitting here, you're telling me, you know, you got to explain to your kid this, you got to explain to your kid that.
Well, I do.
when the time comes that you want to explain these love ballads to your son,
yes.
Are you going to tell him all the secrets behind those songs?
Well, I've already prepared him for.
Really?
There's going to be times to talk about stuff. Like if he says, "Well, what is that?" I go, you know what? You're not quite old enough for that yet, but I'll tell you all about that, you know, later on. He goes, maybe when I'm 8, when I'm 9, I think. When I'm 8 or 9, I think that'd be a good time to talk about it. So luckily he's okay with waiting on certain subjects, because we talk about some subjects in such, you know, so thoroughly that he's okay to wait on a few things.
One of my favorite interviews of yours was with Howard Stern.
Yeah,
how you performed in his studio, how you shut it down, you let everybody into your heart. And I remember like listening to the interview and really rooting for you and like, oh my God, he's on Stern, he's gonna say everything. And you did. You didn't hold back. And I got to know you more on a personal level thanks to Stern, and thanks to you, because you just opened up and you let everybody know what was up with your life. And after that, all that crazy stuff happened. Then, you know, you and Pharrell got sued and all that. How do you keep your head together when you go through that roller coaster where you're like just burning? You're like, yeah, I'm on Stern, I'm on this, I'm on Tonight Show, and I'm here, and I'm in the MTVs, and everybody loves me, and blah, blah, blah. And everybody's dying to bring you down. Yeah. How do you make it work? How did you put your head together?
You have to put it all in perspective and realize that just because there's a handful of people that are, you know, trying to hurt you.
Handful? beautiful, but when I'm having a bad day, I don't get attacked on Twitter like you would. For real, I mean, there's gotta be something. What do you do? Do you meditate? Do you have somebody you talk to? Your girl? Like, what is it?
I surround myself with people that make me feel good, make me laugh. You know, luckily I have a lot of amazing friends, and I have a huge family. So I just called on them, and they know who I am, and you know, they don't need an explanation. They know exactly who I am. So we just get back to having a lot of laughter and good times.
What am I expecting? I see you dressed in the suit. You look like you just stepped out of like Reservoir Dogs. You're looking hot. You're looking sexy. And I'm just like,
Mr. Pink.
It's just, yeah, right? If you're Mr. Pink, then that would make me Miss Yellow, because I'm terrified of your music sometimes. I listen to like, why is he singing to my soul right now? Do you like, when you go home and you're like, I remember hearing that you listen to like a few bars of a song or of a melody and it comes to you. Did you really write those songs under 5 minutes? The good ones. The good ones. The eargasms.
The good ones pour right out. They come right out. I mean, sometimes, you know, you might have one part of the song and then, you know, when you come back to it, the rest of it comes out very quickly. But all of the songs that I've done with Pharrell, they were all recorded in about an hour and a half. Now that doesn't mean that the first 2 days that we did, the songs weren't that good.
Right.
But once you hit it, you know, once you strike the iron while it's hot, you know, it's very exciting when that happens. But most of the time, for all creative people, you're always just working the muscle until, bam, you know, you get that
Robin,
connection.
you can't sit in front of me and say that you're going to work a muscle and bam. Robin, like, for real, it's Friday. I just had a beer before I walked into the studio. No, I didn't, because I was driving with my child. I would never do that, Robin. If there was one piece of advice you could give your fans who will tune into this fabulous interview.
Yes.
One little bit of advice. What would that piece of advice be? Like some real deep down shit that you know you can't just, because you can't be telling everybody, guys, do this, do that. Something that you've learned from all that shit you went through. What's that one piece of advice you could give them?
Never give up.
Just don't, right?
Just can't, because that's the thing. People say, well, how do you make it in the entertainment business, or how do you make it through that, or how you just don't give up. The people that give up, that's what happened to them.
What's the project's name? What are you working out? What do you want me to... Because I'm about to go on Twitter and go, y'all need to go get this album now.
It's not out yet. The new album's
not my baby daddy.
The new album's not ready yet. You're so sweet. The new album's not ready yet. You know, I've been really working hard since I was 16, you know, on...
I know, since you had long hair.
Yeah, and I've been putting out an album every year and a half and then promoting it and touring it. And after everything that just got a little crazy there for a minute, I took some time off to be with my friends and family and spend more time with my son. You know, one of my favorite things to do now, even though it's exhausting, is get up in the morning, make him breakfast, get him dressed for school, just me and him.
Swag.
You know, and just to be a dad for a little bit and not need to be something else. You know,
right.
Because when you're ambitious, you always want to be something like, you know, like the people you looked up to, you know. And,
right.
So it's nice when you just slow down and just be a regular human being for a while and be a good parent, a good friend.
And if your fans want to contact you, I mean, are you a Twitter guy?
Not a Twitter guy. People are too mean on Twitter. Instagram, at least there's some...
there's some kind of...
There's some level of manners and kindness.
Like,
and if somebody does get too mean on Instagram, everyone else kind of hits them up. Like, you know, yeah. So I think that there's a little more equality on Instagram. So I like also, you know, what happens nowadays is the press... They lie, and the media, they lie so much. There's no rules anymore to truth, because what used to be news became entertainment news, and there doesn't have to, or really just gossip, and there doesn't have to be any truth in it.
No,
so they can say anything they want about you and you know, and your personal life.
Pedestrian reporting.
But there's no, I mean, honestly, I before I was in the situation I am now, I used to think a lot of it was true also. And now that it's happened to me, I go, people have no idea how many lies, because they don't have to double check a source, they don't have to do anything. If they say something happened on a plane or on a vacation or what you were doing in an airport,
at a club,
they can say whatever they want. And there doesn't have to be any truth to it.
I mean, you guys can't even fight that.
And we can't fight it, because if we fight it, it makes us look defensive, or it makes us look so. The amount of times when I want to,
America, I've got the right.
Yeah, the amount of times I want to call my management or something and go, they can't say this about me. This could bring on legal trouble for me. They're lying, and then they go, you know what? It's a new era. There's really nothing we can do. It's very rare that somebody sees something that they really want to fight, and they call their lawyers and they say, you have to have that taken down, and you have to put in a retracting statement and all these things. But who's got time for all that, you know?
Is it horrible that I was half listening because you're so good looking?
You're very sweet.
I'm sorry. This one over here with the tattoos, the girl's like, come on. We got another radio station to go to. Robin, I really appreciate you coming by.
You're so cute. Thank you.
Thanks. Sharing.
And your daughter is beautiful, too.
Avery's pretty cool.
She's very cool.
She's a cool little dude.
Yeah.
I love her so much.
But she's got a cool mom.
Thank you. That's very sweet of you. I appreciate you sharing your time with our audience.
Thank you.
Power 96 listeners love you. Miami loves you.
I love Miami.
Have you been to the beach today?
No. Well, I came straight onto the promo run. I brought my son here for this weekend, and we were gonna do a bunch of beach fun and stuff. But unfortunately, he's a little sick, so he's just resting right now.
Everybody's got some
everybody's got some right now.
I was like,
Not
are
good.
we turning into zombies? Oh wait, I wanted to ask you. What do you watch on TV? What's doing? Are you watching American Horror Story, Walking Dead?
No, I'm mostly a sports guy. If I even have time, I go to sports or Game of Thrones. Obviously, I love.
Okay, good.
I love Game of Thrones. Yeah. Khaleesi,
I am the mother of dragons. I totally am.
You're the Miami Khaleesi.
I will walk through fire for my husband and my children.
Of course you would.
Totally.
I can tell.
You see how serious you got on me right there? You're such an artist.
No, that's because I appreciate that kind of commitment.
I will. I don't give a shit what happens. Bitch, we're married. We're getting through this.
You're so sweet.
I love you so much, Robin. Again, thank you so much. You've been locked in. Lucy Lopez, Robin Thicke, right here on Power96.com. He smells as good as he looks. People.
Right.
I love the artist. Nice. I love your process. I want to know how you got from the moment you thought about that song all the way to the end and the in-betweens. Like, did you make scrambled eggs for your kid this morning? What shape were the pancakes?
Right.
And how many times did you have to watch Frozen?
The details.
Because at the end of the day, I feel you're just as real and just as a human being as I am.
Oh, Tom and Jerry is the new thing. He loves Tom and Jerry. Tom and Jerry is brand new to him.
And we all love the same thing. We just want to make people happy and all that. And I feel like when my audience knows that I'm interviewing somebody like you who was on stage with Miley Cyrus, who did everything that you have done. I mean, to me, the top 5 interview 2015 was you on Howard Stern. I mean, to me, I was like, oh my God, the way that you broke down how you wrote that song with Pharrell, I'm like texting him, fucking turn on Stern, turn on Robin Thicke. That is why I love him so much, and blah, blah, blah. So I meet you as a fan, and I want to bring that excitement to the audience.
You do.
Let's get to it.
You do it with passion.